Hi, I'm Natalia Nicholson, founder of Women in Digital Business, where we empower underrepresented women to thrive in the digital world. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Lunch and Learn. How are we doing today? Oh, so lovely to see you all here. So just while I'm getting set up and we're waiting for everybody to come in, I would just like to welcome you to today's Lunch and Learn, where we are going to be learning all about getting some time back and actually how do we make money while we're getting that time back. Okay, so essentially what we are going to be looking at today is sales funnels. It's all about strategy. It's all about having a structure. Really important, guys. Without structure, without strategy, it's really difficult to get ahead. It took me years to figure this out, by the way. At the beginning of your career, it's kind of like you've got to get a product, you've got to find out who your audience is, you're discovering things about yourself. And as you grow and develop, especially in this digital age, there's so many things that come at us. Maybe I'll start a podcast, maybe I'm going to start doing memes, and I'm going to start doing videos, I'm going to do more TikTok. IG's a channel for me, actually. Oh no, what's the new latest trend? And you can be so busy trying so many different things, you kind of lose the flow or the plot, or you lose the sense of where you want to be. So what we want to do is fast track your earnings. We don't want you to be like me and get stuck in this wheel of joining different communities, trying different things. 1 minute, like I said, it's like I've got a podcast that didn't quite take off. Then it's like I'm just going to go over to vlogging. Then it's like I'm just going to start my own blog. Maybe I'm going to do a newsletter on LinkedIn because actually my audience is more B2B. Sometimes we even change our business models and who our audience is based on the latest trends or what works for someone else. And if you're in a place right now where you've got a business, whether you've just started it or you're scaling it, and you really just want to get to a fast track. And I'm going to make a bit of a contradiction here. In one sense, ladies, be very careful of wanting to go from 0 to 100 in a nanosecond. Like, we live in this world, what I call the microwave world, the IG world, where the world makes you feel like you can just get something, boom, instantly. Okay, makes sense? And that's not always the case. Okay, and even though whilst that sometimes can be the case, we do have to remember that to be an expert in something and to be really good at something, it does require a certain amount of time. So there's a certain amount of fast tracking that you can do. But for some of us, we've got life experience. We've worked in organizations. We come from C-suite backgrounds. We've had clients for years, but we can't get to that point where we're making the income that really feels like we deserve it. We're not making the income from what we're worth. It's really funny. Before this call, I just had a call with a coach and consultant that's actually going to be on at the summit. Anyone from the team that's on the call, please do put the link for the summit into the chat. She's going to be at the summit. And what she does is she teaches women how to price accordingly, because pricing is a fundamental problem for Black women. For years, I felt like I've got to charge less. I've got to give free things away. Once I've established myself, then I can put the price up. When I'm getting corporate clients or doing, B2B gigs, it's like I just want to get my foot in the door. Let me drop my price at that for way they see me and be visible. And for years, all I kept doing was dropping the price, giving things away for free, and working harder and harder and harder. And to a point, it is important you give all things away for free. Like in America, across the pond, our American friends, they are very good at understanding to give value away. When you give value away, people understand your worth, and now they're happy to pay a price because they know what they're going to get. Because it would always amaze me the amount of coaches and consultants that there are that are absolutely amazing, that don't charge their worth, don't charge near what they should be charging. But the people that have got at least half the experience and nowhere near as good as them are actually charging more. And the thing about people that aren't as good and charge more, you tend to find they have high customer turnover. When you're good at what you're doing, it's like the gift that just keeps on giving. So just be mindful about what you're charging. But today what we want to do is, for those of you that know you're good, you've done your time, you've got experience, you've done your proof of work. It might not be displayed in your business because that's in its early stages, but for you as an individual and what you can bring and what you can show up with, you've done your work in your time, and you want to fast track those earnings. You want to get to break even point. Okay. You want to get to past break-even point. You want to get to profit. You want to be able to pay your staff and pay yourself what it is you deserve. So we are going to look at how to fast track your earnings on today's session. So I know for many of you, this is a break. Lunch and Learn is designed every single Tuesday at midday to just be that source of nuggets, information, reminder, inspiration, motivation, to kind of be able to get through the rest of your week and just give you that little push and oomph. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Natalia Nicholson and I'm the founder of Women in Digital Business. So with that said, we're minutes past after midday. We're going to get started. Great to have you all here. I'm going to jump straight into it. Let me share my decks. Here we go. Brilliant. I'm having a little bit of a working lunch myself, so excuse me while I munch on my strawberries. It's lunch and learn. So let me just go into present mode. Let me get a little bit comfortable. So sorry if you see me looking to the side, it's because I've got a second screen here. Okay, so welcome to getting started with sales funnels. Sales funnels is a brilliant way to fast track your earnings because it's a strategic way of you being able to build out a process for you and your customers that is very intentional. And you build out a number of customer touch points that really gets you from where you are now to where you want to be. And it also gets you a flow of leads, and those leads then turn into customers. And I think sales funnel is a terminology that's been around for a while. I think many people are familiar with it. But I don't necessarily know that everybody really understands it. Why? Because the word sales is like a swear word. When you come up with a product or service that you truly believe in and you feel is authentic, which is what most female coaches do, you don't feel like you have to sell, because when we think of selling, we think of trying to convince people. And we know that if we've created a product or service that people need, we, feel like we want to talk about what we do. We want them to identify the need and see the value in what we do. So we don't consider it selling. Ladies, it's selling. Again, it just took me a while to kind of get comfortable with sales. Like in the beginning, I'd be like, yeah, I'm a great speaker. I can turn up. I've got energy. But if you said, well, no, come and sell, I'd be like, well, I'm not really a salesperson. I don't sell. And I think selling's changed and we need to reframe our minds. Selling's become a lot more of consultative selling. What I mean by that, selling is about being able to put an offer together, have a story, have a hook, and really get your audience aware of the problem that you solve. It's become consultative. It's changed from direct selling where someone is convincing you or they're using psychological mind tactics on you, known as linguistics. And, there's great sales teams out there that do that even to this day. But I think when we think of sales, we do think of like the cheesy salesman or the cheesy salesperson or woman for that matter. And it's changed. So even though we use the word sales funnel, I think the word frightens a lot of people off. They feel like what I'm selling doesn't really need sales. It just needs to be marketed. Marketing and sales go hand in hand, ladies. They're one of the same disciplines. And I think sometimes we need to remember that. So what are we going to cover today? We are going to cover what is a sales funnel and get really clear about what a sales funnel is. We're going to look at the importance of a sales funnel and just the stages of a sales funnel. A sales funnel is also known as a user journey or customer journey. They mean the exact same thing. I usually prefer the term user journey because sometimes I find with the funnel, even though that term's probably more known, I think that's what frightens people off. It's like a funnel. You've got to follow these instructions. It's like, I will do A to get to B, 2 + 2 = 4. And then when you start following that process, you lose that human to human connection. But irrespectively, they all mean the same thing. So we're going to look at the different stages of the funnel, also known as the user journey, which is awareness, interest, decision, and action. We're going to look at creating a sales funnel and just look at the sales funnel management, how you find holes in your funnel, how you set up automation, email flows, messaging flows. You put all this work into making someone aware of you, getting a lead. You want to make sure you're warming that lead up and you're converting them into a customer or client. And we're going to look at the customer relationship and how you can manage everything within this process. So what is a sales funnel? A sales funnel is a step-by-step process that brings potential customers, also known as the prospect, one step closer to your offer and a buying decision through a series of marketing actions. So essentially what a funnel does, it's your job to attract your audience. And this can be done through various digital marketing channels or traditional marketing channels. Whether it's a podcast, a blog, a vlog, display ads, marketing minute, case studies, social media, whatever the case may be. Does that make sense? Ebooks, webinars, you name it. But it's something that attracts, it's something that makes them aware. And then from there, you want to build leads. So some of the things that I just mentioned in the attract stage can also be a lead as well. So some things can have dual purpose. So for instance, the ebooks, the newsletters, these are things that people have to opt in for and sign up for. When someone opts in and signs up, what happens? You've now got their details, which means you can go from a cold lead to a lukewarm lead, and you can keep putting content out to warm your lead up, because what you want to do is get your prospect into the convert part of the funnel. Okay, so convert is where you have converted into whatever your objective is. For most of us, that objective is going to be sell, getting a client. But for some of us, we might have a social justice business, a charity, and maybe that convert is using a service or offering a service that's funded. It's the main object of what it is that you want to do in your business. And that pretty much in a nutshell is what a sales funnel is. So why does everyone keep talking about, have you got a sales funnel? Why is all the software that we use, down to your Kajabis, your ClickFunnels, your High Level, your Thinkific, your Teachable, your Wix, your Square Page, even your WordPress and all the plugins it comes with? Why are all these softwares using the terminology of a sales funnel? Why are they talking about the awareness, the engagement, the consideration, the conversion? Google Analytics, we should be tracking everything we do. If you look at the GA4, the new version of it, everything is broken down in the exact terminology of the user journey and funnel of what I just went through. The awareness stage, the engagement stage, the lead generation stage, the conversion stage, all of it is broke down in the same terminology. Why do we keep hearing all of this terminology in our softwares? Why do we keep hearing all this terminology even in business and social media in this digital age? Because it all comes from the sales funnel. Your Ubers of the world, your Airbnbs of the world, all these new businesses, even Amazon. Could you imagine? I remembered when Amazon launched. If only I just bought shares. But, these businesses are new. They understood what a sales funnel is. Okay, so this is not something new in the marketplace. This is what businesses use day in, day out. For you now to have a marketing campaign and you don't have the funnel which continues the user journey, to be quite frank, is just suicide. So sales funnels are really important. It provides insights to allow you to invest in the right marketing activities and channels and create the most relevant messaging during each stage and turn more prospects into paying customers. And you've got to understand the maths, ladies. The maths is really, really important. I think when you're a coach, consultant, you sell a digital product and you really authentically serve your audience, I think sometimes we can get lost in that process, and we can sometimes forget about the maths and the sales part and get right down to the numbers of like, okay, to get this going, to be able to have staff, to have more time, to get things done, to be able to pay them and make this business viable, I'm going to need X amount of impressions. Those impressions are going to give me X amount of leads through the click-through rates of all the URLs that I've got. Those click-through rates that now means that I can even retarget people through ads, or I've got their email address, or maybe I've got them on WhatsApp, means that I can now keep communicating with these people and turn them into sales. And each conversion point is mathematical. So from impressions to the click-through rate, the amount of leads you've got on conversion, you should be thinking, how much do I need at top funnel awareness of just straight impressions compared to leads, compared to conversions? If you know 1% of impressions gives you the right amount of leads, it starts to give you an idea. So really what you want to do is work with the end in mind. If you know that you want to make £150,000 this year, if you know you want to make £1 million this year, you need to, or dollars, sorry, I'm from the UK, you need to work backwards and think, okay, if I need that amount, how many leads am I going to get? To get those leads, how much click-through rates do I need to get to that lead generation? To get that click-through rate, how many impressions do I need? And it's about the numbers. It's about the maths. It has to become about the business, and it has to become about the strategy. And we put that into a funnel. So a funnel is really, really fundamentally important. Understanding your funnel can help you find the gaps in your marketing and sales process and the places where prospects drop out and never convert. And this is where data comes in. If you can learn how to track data, you will know where the holes in your funnels are, and you will move a lot quicker. You really will fast track your income, because data is actually going to tell you the decisions that you should be making. You know, a lot of times as entrepreneurs, especially for many of us, we are the target audience. So because of that, we make a lot of assumptions. We should actually be led by the data, because the data is going to fast track you to get to the objective of the goal that you have set. And if that goal is monetary, you know, let's get going, ladies. So what's the stages of a funnel, also known as a user journey? So top of the funnel, which you'll hear a lot of people say, you know, let's start with top of the funnel, is that awareness piece. This is literally you saying, I'm here, over here, me. This is cold traffic. This is you making yourself aware to people. So whether you are using social media, whether you're using a specific channel, all the channels, 3 of the channels, whether on those social media channels you're creating content, whether it be blogs, vlogs, a podcast, you're doing something. Maybe, you know, you're partnering with people, brand partnerships. You know, we do brand partnerships at Women in Digital Business. It works really well for us. Awareness is you getting the attention of your audience and your customer segments that do not know you. That's your awareness. Okay. After you figured out, okay, what does awareness look for me? The next thing you want to do is get those who are interested in seeing you from awareness. So this stage is also called the engagement stage, and it can also be called the consideration stage. So this is the point where you want to engage. You've got someone that's considering you. When we're considering, what do we do, ladies? When we are considering people, we tend to go and look to see, is there something cheaper? Is there something better? I know, for instance, I love a holiday. Everyone's got their vices in life. Mine is definitely traveling. So when I see a holiday, I see a good deal, or I see something that I like, the first thing I think is, okay, where can I go? And I really like this location. Maybe where can I go to get better accommodation? I'm someone that believes I don't want to stay somewhere worse than my house, because that's not a holiday. So I'm very hot on the accommodation side of things. I might see, can I get it cheaper? Can I get a better price? Could I get a better room at a better price? I'm now doing some investigation. So this is why it's the consideration stage for the prospect, because they're considering you. And it's the engagement stage for you, the business owner and the marketeer, because you should be thinking engagement-wise, let me engage with my audience at this point, because if they're interested in me, the interest stage, if they're interested in me, this means I should now be giving them as much information as I possibly can for them to make the decision to continue in my funnel, continue in my user journey, and get to that point of actually getting to know, like, and trust me and buy from me. So engagement at the interest stage is key for marketers and business owners, because what we really want to do is push content out that is the objection to sell. Some of you might have heard of a business called HubSpot. HubSpot do this really, really well, by the way. HubSpot, if you said, what's the best marketing tool? HubSpot is probably going to come up on the first page of Google, and it's probably going to come up with some type of a blog post. On that blog post, it's going to give you all the email marketing tools, and it's going to tell you which ones are right for which type of person, which type of business. And it will probably place itself at around number 3, sometimes number 2. Sometimes it might even claim the top position. But what it does is it makes you as a prospect trust HubSpot, because it's giving you the very information you was about to leave the touch point, whatever channel you was at, whatever you did in that awareness stage, you were now probably about to go and leave if you was interested to go and do some research of your own. What did HubSpot do? It gives you the research. So with the law of reciprocation says when you give, someone automatically wants to give back. So we've got the law of reciprocations in their sales process here, and we've also got trust here. I now trust HubSpot because actually HubSpot's given me the core information of exactly what I was going to go and look. So now, what do you think happens out of that list? Which of those email softwares have I got more of a compelling relationship with, or that I feel like are trustworthy? It's HubSpot. So while some people might say, that's ridiculous, why would HubSpot do that? Why would they put all their competitors on one page? Because the prospect's going to go and do that anyway, and they're going to leave that touch point. So rather than leaving that touch point, what HubSpot's doing is getting those that have got a high intent to buy or interested in them, because not everybody's interested in what you're buying all the time. They might have been aware, but not every time you're selling is somebody ready to buy. But the people that need something and are ready to buy actually will go with HubSpot, because what they've done is they've engaged and they've given content that gives the objection to sell, and they've helped them to consider to move on to the next stage of the funnel. Okay. So the interest stage, like I said, sometimes called interest, sometimes called the engagement stage. Many softwares call it the engagement stage, and also called the consideration stage. And can you see why it's called all of those things? Because it's all part and parcel. So you made someone aware of you. You've now, got them interested. You're engaging with them. And the more you learn about your prospect and end user, guess what, ladies? The more power that is to produce content that connects with people. Okay, we've got to remember that. Your job is to connect with people. And when we're connecting through technology, when we're connecting through a laptop, a phone, a tablet, we've lost our five senses now. That sight, smell, taste, hearing, and touch isn't what it was. So content is actually what you do to build trust. And when you build trust, you do it little by little. Think about your personal space. I know no one can step into my personal space unless I know you really, really well. And for you to step into it, you have to build up a level of trust. Think about when you meet someone, you might go into a coffee shop, you see someone, you might see them on, the subway, the train, or the bus stop. And then once you keep seeing them again, it's kind of like, oh my gosh, this is coincidence. It's a bit strange. You've got some type of connection going on. You might exchange numbers. You might only be on messaging at first, maybe a WhatsApp or talking through social media. Then you take that next step and be like, oh, let's have a call. It is literally like dating. And your job is to warm the prospect up through the funnel and build those relationships. And that breaking down of barriers to step into someone's personal space, which is the sell, is you actually providing content to build trust. So content is key to pass your prospect through the funnel, or the user journey, as some people call it. So a sales funnel is so strategic and so organized in the way you think about getting customers. It's life-changing, and it does fast track what you're doing. Okay, so let's look at some of the stages in a little bit more detail. So awareness. Awareness is where people first become aware of your product or service. Literally, like I said, over here, I'm here. Okay, this is where, gone too far. Sorry, ladies. So awareness can come from any marketing channel. So like I said, social media, paid ads, word of mouth, etc. So you've got three types of marketing, really. You've got what's called paid traffic, because remember, with your funnel and your user journey, you've got to bring traffic into the awareness stage. And I always say to people, actually, you're never going to have an awareness problem, because if needs be, you can pay for traffic. So whether that's Facebook and Instagram, digital social media, paid marketing, whether that is search marketing, Google, which includes YouTube as well, which kind of sits between being a search engine. It is the world's second largest search engine, by the way, but it's also a bit of a social media channel. But you might do search marketing. It could be Twitter, it could be TikTok. It's paid social media marketing. So you're never really, or search marketing, Google ads, Bing ads, AdWords, the shopping ads that you see at the top of the search bar. You're never really going to have a traffic problem. You've then got earned traffic. Earned traffic are things like search engine optimization, SEO, where you're creating content, you're getting visibility, and that visibility organically pushes you up the search engine. Think of search, that if someone knows your service or product exists, they're going to be looking for you. So you're going to want to do search marketing, which is paid, is like, your Google ads. And organic is your SEO. SEO is earned. You've got to create that content. So it's what you call earned media. If someone doesn't know you exist and they're not searching for you, what they're searching for is a problem. And that's where you're going to use social media to educate your audience. So make sure you keep hanging out in the Women in Digital Business community. It gets real psychological, technical, mathematical over here in terms of really understanding how to get clients. Okay, so you've got your paid media, you've got your earned media. and you've got your owned media. Owned media is media that you earn. So that could be something like a mailing list. That's why, ladies, it's always important to keep collecting those leads. Those leads give us owned media. We want owned media. We want ownership in the women's digital business community. We're not playing. And that's what we're going to encourage you to keep building up. So awareness can come from any marketing channel like social media, paid ads, word of mouth. You're making people aware of you. So how and why these people move down the sales funnel depends on your own sales and marketing ability. You know, some of us are in marketing already. Some of us on this call could be marketing consultants selling the marketing services. Some of us are coaches and consultants and maybe not be so familiar with marketing. I'd like to consider myself the funnel queen. I kind of got named that today and I'm really excited about it. People started to call me that. And it's really nice when you get a nickname, but you didn't actually create the nickname for yourself. But because I build funnels for a living, that's what I do. That's what I love to teach. That is my gift that I'm giving. I'm still always learning, by the way. Technology moves really, really quickly. Things change all the time. So as much as I might position myself as a funnel queen or an expert, I'm constantly learning, ladies. So it's important that if you're not actually from a marketing background, we want to get you up to speed. We want to get you to where you need to be so you can start getting those customers in. Okay. So stage 2 is the interest. So when consumers reach the interest stage, they're doing research. Okay. They're comparing your offer to others and they're thinking over their options. Exactly what I just went through. Okay, I gave you the big speech. I just kind of want to break it down for you so you can actually just really get your notepads and pens out at this point if you want me to be honest with you and start thinking about your own sales funnel. I want you to start writing down, what do you do at the awareness stage? And as I'm going through today, please put into the chat if there's stages that you have missed out, stages that you didn't even consider, things that I'm saying that have been any aha moment, anything you want to share that can help anyone else on the call, please do use the chat. Okay, really important. The more I find out more about how you're receiving the information, how you're using it, how it can be helpful, it actually helps me to keep creating more and more of these masterclasses to really be able to help you guys get along. Okay, so that interest stage. So awareness, what do you do for awareness? What I want you to write it down. Okay, go get your phone, go get a notepad, whatever the case may be. I want you to think, what do I do to make my customers and clients aware of me? How do they even know that I exist? And I want you to write everything down. Once you've done that, and I've explained the awareness stage, but as we're going mapping back through it and we're going through the presentation, I want you to make sure you take your notes. The next thing you want to think about is what do you do to engage with your audience, that interest level, okay, at the funnel. What are you doing to help people make their minds up? For the people that are now interested because they've been aware of you and they're thinking, that's a bit of me. I can see how that would work for me. That solves a problem that I've got, because essentially that's what you're doing at this stage. You are actually introducing a solution to a problem that your prospect has. So I want you to think about, okay, when consumers reach the interest stage, they're doing research and comparing your offers to others, and they're thinking over their options. So what are you going to do to help them come to you and help them solve their problem? Because at this stage, you are not selling yet, but you want to swoop them in with incredible content that's going to help them make that decision. And remember the story I just gave you about HubSpot. So I want you to think to yourself, what do you do to swoop your audience in once you've been made aware of you? What type of content helps them make their mind up? Okay. And then next, it's time to really establish your expertise to help your potential customers make an informed decision. And this is where you really want to establish your authority, but you're not selling. You can't sell. That doing, I'm so great, I've done blah, 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 blah. You're talking about yourself now. We don't want to be talking about ourselves. We want to be talking about the problems that our prospects and our potential customers and clients have got. Okay. And this is where by listening and hearing them, that's when you can offer your expertise and they can see it. They can see it, feel it, know it. God, I sound like any of you that come from the UK, when you're on the train and the subway, what does it say? See it, say it, sort it. Same thing. Those of you from the UK, hopefully that put a little smile on your face. But yeah, you want to establish your expertise by actually demonstrating it and showing it. You don't necessarily, there's nothing wrong with saying your credentials and saying why you're good, but you just want to be careful You know, when I first started my career, I did a lot of that, where I used to speak and facilitate and teach at Google. You know, everything was, I'm a Google certified coach. The problem is that I'm not creating my own brand. People buy people. You can back off a brand, you can gain authority from it for sure. You know, people want to know that you are authoritative and you know what you're speaking about. But essentially, if they're really thinking about buying from you, they want to establish your expertise for them, because they're following you, listening to you, looking at you, because you're helping solve a problem for them. Okay, so establish your expertise to help your potential clients. And then stage 3 is really about the decision. The decision part of the funnel is the time sent to your prospects. You're sending them now to a sales page. You want them to book a call. You want to make them an offer. And this decision process, this is where really you should have some type of lead magnet. I think I spoke about lead magnets last week, or it might have been the week before, but do check out our previous masterclasses, by the way. They're here in this community, by the way, and it's worth making sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Ladies from the community, if you could just drop the YouTube channel link into the chat, please do make sure you subscribe. There's a lot of tutorials that we give away and I do on YouTube, so it's definitely worth following. It's definitely worth subscribing to our channel. So you want your prospect, you want to send them to a sales page. A sales page is a dedicated page specifically about whatever you was talking about in that awareness stage. So some of you that are e-commerce sellers, what can sometimes happen is that from awareness, it's straight to the website. And depending on your business model, there's nothing wrong with that, because we can capture leads by putting pop-up boxes, offering discounts, and doing various creative things. But sometimes when you've got a specific product, let's say Mother's Day is coming up, and let's say, you know, you want to be selling products around Mother's Day. At this point, you really want to have a landing page or a sales page that's just about the products that you do for Mother's Day. Because by sending someone to your website, it's just overwhelmed. You can see all the menus, everything you sell, and then that's when it's kind of like, you know what, let me look at this at the end of the day, because I'm really busy right now. You know, we don't have the longest attention spans at all. Most times in marketing, someone has to touch 4 of your touch points before they even buy, especially in e-commerce. I could be looking at a pair of shoes, which I often do. Even this morning, I was looking at school shoes for the kids. I had a meeting come in and I left it, and then I forgot about it. And then I had an ad that came up from the same company because it retargeted me. That's what retargeting social media ads are. When you're being followed around the internet because you've looked at something, you're being retargeted. But at the same time, most retargeting ads, and this retargeting ad about the school shoes, it reminded me that I need to get the shoes. So to be fair, it does work. But you do. The decision process is now based on you providing either a sales page, a lead page, a dedicated page, whatever it is that's in the awareness stage. It still can be your website. There's no wrong and right answers to this. That's what I mean. You can't follow this set formula and boom, it just happens. It doesn't work like that. Really important to understand. You've got to do what works for your customer segments and the sales funnel that you've put together ultimately. Okay, so you want to make that offer. You want to collect the details. So at this stage, you want to ask yourself as a business owner, what is the best way to get people to pay? And if they're not paying, what is the best way for me to collect their details and their leads so I can keep nurturing them and they can eventually become a customer or a client? So can you see the sales funnel and the user journey are intentional touch points that you have created to get your prospect from not knowing you to knowing you? And, you know, before you go straight into the pay, you need to think in here, actually, do I have something that's collecting the leads? Because if I collect the leads and I've got an email marketing software, or I've got a WhatsApp group or a Slack group or a Telegram group, and I've got people in one place, actually, I can converse with them, because not every time you're selling is your customer ready to buy. As simple as. So by collecting the leads, you're making sure you're keeping them warm. And now when you're creating all those blogs and newsletters and the content that we understand we've got to churn out, at least it's going to warm leads and you're not just kind of doing it in vain. Because after a while, you do kind of get exhausted with the whole content creation, especially if you're not seeing those results. So the bottom of the sales funnel is where the customer actually purchases the product. And like I said, you should have your notepads out. I hope you're writing down, what do you do for awareness? What do you do for consideration? Also known as the engagement, stage, consideration stage. on there. And you also want to think about, what am I doing to collect leads? And actually, how do we actually convert? Like, I want you to think about it. How do you convert? Is it a checkout? Do you phone? Do you take a payment? And I want you to jot it all down. I want you to think about, what do you do right now? Sorry, lunch and learn. Eating those strawberries. So the bottom of the sales funnel is where the customer purchases, or sometimes not, your product or your service. So just because a customer reaches the bottom of your funnel, however, doesn't mean that your work is done. There's so much work. And I hope you're seeing the level of work that goes there. And now, if you were really building this out, this is where you've got to think about automation and software, because it saves a lot of time as well. Okay, so if the prospect didn't make a purchase, the deal is not lost forever. You can create nurture campaigns to make sure they stay in the top of your mind. Make sure you stay in the top of their mind, should I say. So it's literally like you saying, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. If you all took out your phones right now and you went into your junk box, you are going to see a number of emails that have been sent to you where people are trying to get you to be a customer or get you to repeat buy. And do it now. Go in there. And you will see that they're very intentional about all the messages that have been sent to you. Anybody that says email marketing is dead, it certainly is not dead. Okay, it's important that we're collecting those leads, because if the customer did, if the customer did purchase, focus on retaining them. You know, it's really easy as a business. You know, if you really want to flex and you really want to increase that income, it's really easy, if you want me to be honest with you, to get that sale and not forget about the upselling. So within your funnel, you also want to think about, okay, someone's bought from me. So sometimes what's used as a tactic is an entry point offer. An offer that is a low entry offer, doesn't require much thinking. You'll take it. But now what we want to do is now upsell our customers. And the fast food industry just does this brilliantly. Okay, you go to McDonald's, you order something instantly. It's like, do you want to have that larger? If you don't want it larger, they've now got something called the saver menu. That's a downsell. You know, do you want an apple pie with that? Do you want the same meal for half price? A cross sell. Makes sense? So once someone's made a sell, your job now is to make sure you're constantly giving them what you need. You can't just keep servicing yourself. This is where you think, okay, what else would they need? And this is where, you know, great product development ideas come up, where you have to think, okay, what do they need? We became really successful at selling candles. We figured out that what people needed was the lighter. So when the wick got low, you're not trying to burn your hands to get your hand in the candles. And the amount of lighters that we started selling at volume, you know, brought a really nice piece of revenue back into the business. This is what fast tracking is all about. Upselling isn't just about the things that you have to sell on top of what someone's bought. It's also about what the prospect might need with your core offer of what you've just sold them, that you can also sell. And this is where you want to start really looking at your business modeling. Okay, so how do I go about even creating a sales funnel, Natalia? How do I do that? So to have a sales funnel, you need to build a landing page. You need to build a page where you're pushing the traffic to. You also need to understand who your audience is. You've got a target audience, but you've also got segments that make up the target audience. You don't have a sales funnel for your whole target audience, by the way. Your sales funnel would be for each customer segment. So your job is to really be clear in the beginning before even creating a funnel. Who are the customer segments? So I always give the example, if I was an organization, I sell bags to mums. What type of bags? Is it bags for newborns? Is it bags for mums that are working mums and need to do the school run, then get on the train or bus to go to work? So the things they've got to carry dictates they need a different bag. Is it mums for multiple children, older children, toddlers? You can keep going on. They've all got different requirements. So what a landing page enables you to do is to be able to really laser target a customer segment, understanding their wants and needs, their pain points and challenges, and be able to create a page of an offering that is just for that segment. Once we've reached our target with that segment, we would then reach the next. So if you want to target everybody, I'm not saying that you can't, but you're going to need some big budget and you're going to need some resource. Okay, makes sense? So you want to build out some type of landing page, which also means that you're going to need a software. And that software might be separate to your website, that might be built out on WordPress. So what you want to do is, if your prospect clicks on a sign up for a webinar, for example, or download an ebook, they're going to go to a landing page that's going to talk specifically about the next touch point that you want them to do. So you've established that they've got a problem. You've connected on that front. You've made them aware. Okay. Now that you've made them aware, what you now want to do is send them to a page that's dedicated to the information of the awareness and give them all the information of that consideration and engagement on that specific page, to that specific customer segment, to a specific problem that they've got. Can you see where this is going? Which makes them feel like, oh my gosh, this is for me. This is a bit of me. I need this. I need this. Okay, really important. So what you want to do is you now get them to sign up for something, which means now you're collecting those details. You can continue conversations with them, okay, all by having a landing page and an opt-in and having a software that's going to automate this whole process for you. So the landing page should have a form for your prospects to enter their information, like name and email address. It depends on what you're going to give away, whether you can ask for cell number or mobile number, as we call it here in the UK. If you're giving away something of great value, you could ask for the cell phone. If it's something of low value or free, people aren't really going to give their cell number, but there's no harm in asking. Just don't make it a mandatory field, meaning they can't go any further without doing it. So, and that's just like one zany tiny example. There's so many things that the software would allow you to do. It can allow you to offer order bumps. It will give you a thank you page after the landing page that tells them what's about to happen next. If you can keep telling your prospect what's about to happen next, they will keep following the steps. So they opt in, they get a thank you page that tells them you've now got an email. Please go and confirm the email. Your download will be sent to you in 5 minutes. You know, after your download sent, if you would like to book a call with us, you're going to receive an email then, or a message to the WhatsApp because you left your number. You want to be telling the prospect what's about to happen all the time. And that's where software and technology can do that for you, which automates the process, and it gives you that level of professionalism that puts you in a whole new playing field, to be quite honest with you. You know, no one knows that you'll be working from home in your office. So you want to build out a landing page, okay? So the tools to create a landing page are things like ClickFunnels, Lead Pages, Instapage. We use Kajabi because we build out memberships. You've got some newer disruptors into the marketplace called High Level, which are really great. And it might be that you don't necessarily need a landing page because your landing page is on your website because it goes to a specific product detail, which is fine, but you're still going to need that CRM, customer relation management system, where you can push leads into, store those leads, categorize those leads, and segment those leads. So if you are sending emails or messages out, even text messages, you can segment your audience so you're not sending the same message to everyone, because you want to communicate to your audience as segments. So landing pages should really answer the following. Like, what is your actual site about? Like, what's your business about? Because remember, they're on a landing page. They should be telling the prospect, you know, what are you supposed to do? What should they do? Okay, what is the core value proposition? Your core value proposition is your brand message, your brand promise, and what the solution that you're offering to your customer. Now, that might think like, Natalia, well, that's quite simple. You'd be surprised to know that many small businesses in this digital age fail because their value proposition does not match who they're targeting. So they've got a value proposition for an audience that is not connecting, and they can't see that urgency of that product or service being for them. So be very careful in your early days to be able to establish who is your audience and what is your value proposition. If you're inside this community, there's a link to our digital bootcamp, and the digital bootcamp that we put together will actually help you to really understand who is your customer, how to put the value proposition together, and just really lead on from today to understand what a funnel actually does and give you the starting steps to actually build one out. Okay, so what is the core value proposition, and why should I care? Why should your prospect care? What's the big thing that you solve in their lives? And you really need to take some time to think about this. If you think about this too quickly, 9 times out of 10, it's not the big thing. Like, what's the big thing you do? What's the transformation that they get from attending what it is that you're asking them to attend or buy or do? Okay, really important. So, you know, this is an ebook, marketing strategies for the mobile startup CEO. So can you see how they've pre-qualified their audience? It's an ebook I'm giving away. It's about marketing strategies, but not only is it about marketing strategies, it's specifically for the mobile startup CEO. Okay, makes sense? It's actually saying it's for mobile startups, those that build apps. So if you don't do that, this isn't for you. So pre-qualifying your audience means that you'll start to build a list that's a clean list and a quality list, rather than trying to attract everybody, and not everybody is your audience. Okay. Again, I hope you are writing all your notes down, because what this should be doing, whatever your process is, hopefully today's session should be giving you a floodlight of ideas. So 2, you want to offer something of value. Give something to your prospect in exchange for an email address or that cell number. Okay. You want a lead magnet, like an ebook, a white paper, an effective way to offer something of value on your landing page. You want people to think, oh, that's a bit of me. And sometimes some of you here might not be coaches and consultants. And sometimes I find, especially those who are B2B, they're like, oh, what does that look like for me? Or you're uncertain for your business. I've seen some really creative things. I even saw the other day a fashion store, and the clothing they had looked a little bit of me. And on there was a downloadable chart that for sizing, that if you put your measurements in, it will tell you exactly what size you need to order. And it would also give you all the styles that would suit your body shape. And it would tell you what your body shape is. Girl, I signed up. They got my opt-in because that's useful to me. So it's got to be something of value, and think outside the box. And this goes back to thinking about and understanding who your customer segment is, and thinking about what problems they have and what is it with I do? What do I solve? What would the gain be after they've used my product or service? Because ultimately that is actually what you're selling, and you want a lead magnet that's going to really help to reinforce that. Okay. So, you know, what is that lead magnet going to be? What is that opt-in you're going to get? And you want to start nurturing. So at this point, your prospects will move from the awareness stage into the interest stage. And because they have your email address from the landing page, you can start to create what's a nurture email service or messaging service. You know, this is done on WhatsApp. I don't know if any of you felt like you've been in somebody else's funnel right now. So you can create an email nurture series to share educational content about what you're offering. When you're sharing content, yes, it's called a sales funnel, but ladies, it's always got to be 80-20. Okay, 80-20 rule just applies to life, full stop. If you've not read the book 80-20, urge you to go and get it. It's 80% content, 20% sales. Really, really important. Okay, so from the lead capture form, you've got an opt-in form. You should then have a thank you page. Within that, you should have an email series, often known as the Know, Like, and Trust. A series of about 3 to 5 emails over a series of days to make sure they're reading, listening, whatever it was that you offer from the lead magnet. You want to make sure that it's of use, it's of value, they're doing it, because ultimately you want them to go on to the next stage of your funnel. Like I said, prefer user journey, whatever it is you want to call it. But maybe they don't download that book. And maybe in that instance, you want to push them to a different email service, email series, because they didn't take the action of whatever it is that they signed up for. And it might be that you're going to try and nurture them again into actually doing it. And within that, depending on what action of each email, whether they took the action, they didn't take the action, it's going to trigger off a different email series, and that's going to trigger to maybe a different offer and a different landing page. So let me put that into context and give you an example. Okay, so you've got a series, you signed up for an ebook, let's go there, and you've had a series of email, Know, Like, and Trust. At the end of that ebook, you might offer your client a one-to-one call. Okay, maybe within that email trigger, what you've done is you've asked them to respond if they've read the book or not. So those that have given feedback and read the book, you might then push them to another email series, and you might push them to a landing page that's more of a hard sell, because you know their intent to buy is high. Okay. It could be that they haven't not read the book at all. They have not downloaded it. So they now get a different email series, and they get another offer, which might be the ebook as an audio to encourage them to listen to it to get to the next stage of the funnel or the user journey, but essentially move on to that next customer touch point. They all mean the same things, all this language I'm using, by the way. It's just different. I don't know why. It's just different names for the same things. So that's why I try to use them all, just to get you to understand you are not being bamboozled. You're not lost. You know, if I can do this, you can do this. So you want to start nurturing. This is where like the architecture of your funnel starts to come together. You want to start tracking. You want to start thinking about what channels you use. You want to start using what software, and understand the power of each software, because some of the things you can do on software is absolutely amazing in terms of nurturing, because essentially you are taking someone cold that has never heard of you from the awareness stage, and you want to get them through to the sales stage. So it's really important that you nurture. Okay, so email nurturing samples, you know, you've got things like HubSpot. And guys, start signing up for things and start seeing how they do. Then you've got the upsell. Prospects move into this decision stage and they want, you know, you want to offer anything that can nudge them in the direction of actually purchasing. So from the sales page, you know, that makes sense. It might be you've got a long letter sales script. So a long sales pitch is really explaining what someone's going to get, what you're going to do for them, how you're going to do it, and really break that down into detail. Maybe it's a video. You know, maybe it's an opportunity to upsell and they can upgrade their order. Maybe you're selling a book and you can do what's called an order bump with your software and say, you know, for 99p extra, you can have an audio version, which means now you've just added, you fast track some income. The confirmation page. Okay, if you're running ads to this, you want to run ads, and maybe you want to say to Facebook, because Facebook's a powerhouse for this type of stuff. My intention for this ad is to create leads that get to that confirmation page. The more people that get to that confirmation page, you can now say to Facebook, find me more people like the people that go to the confirmation page, and do a lookalike campaign. Okay, so, okay, I'm getting into it a bit now. But can you see the power of having a funnel and having a strategy? It's a whole different ball game. Whole different ball game of how you think. So when creating sales page, you know, take note of the following as we wind up for today. Understand your audience, create a value proposition, make sure you get the right price, determine the length, nail the headline. Copywriting is important. Okay, describe your product, show the benefits, handle objections, you know, all the FAQs, prove visitors can trust you. Really important. Trust is key. Incorporate images and videos. We're living in the day and age of content. We have to make a clear offer and make it urgent. You've got to put that urgency in. Why is someone going to want something now? If you keep dancing around things and be like, oh, okay, and you're not putting no urgency in, you're not going to get any urgency back, and that's not going to help you fast track to where you want to be. Okay, so as we end up today's session, please do let me know if you have any questions and put it in the chat. Let me just know your general feedback if you found today useful. And if you do want to think about really crafting out a detailed funnel, I'm going to put a link to it, Empower Her, because we're actually going to be opening up after our summit, which is next week, first week of April. We're going to be opening up the doors to Empower Her, which is our signature program, which really works with you over 12 weeks to craft out a very detailed funnel, a very detailed user journey, pick all your software, and really understand how you're going to carry those customer segments through a journey that's really going to increase sales. It's quite a powerful program. I deliver this when I consult, which is my main job. I work for larger organizations and I build funnels for a living. So, you know, you are going to catapult your business and you are going to bring it to a next level. And it's also going to make you question a lot of things about what you're doing. You're going to upskill digitally, technologically, and don't be frightened of the tech and digital. Seriously, no one needs to become a coder because software is just so great in this day and age. So put your name on the wait list. Just to let you know, you have to book a call with me and we'll be responding to those the first, second week of April. We don't put anybody on this program that's not ready for it. We really don't. So the wait list actually allows you to have a call with me or one of the members of my team to make sure that it's right for you so you can get the results of what you need. But it's always a pleasure being with you guys today. And please do not forget our summit. Like, seriously, the summit is next week and we are so excited. We have got 100 women coming to you for 3 days, delivering masterclasses from mindset, how you should price, how you should value yourself, how to get funding. I'll be delivering a really powerful one all around sales funnel and how to tell your story. What you do in that awareness stage and the engagement stage and how you tell your story and the hook is absolutely key on making sure you've got a successful marketing plan. So I'll be teaching major lessons about that. We'll be going through lessons about ad agencies, you know, just extra baggage that we carry, emotional stuff we carry can hold us back. You name it, we're doing it. You've got so many tracks there. And these are coaches that have got real stories that are everyday women just like me and you that have got stories to help shape you and let you know that you're not alone and success is around the corner. So it's 3 days of powerful masterclasses of the top 100 most powerful Black Women Summit. And it's just the beginning. We'll be running this twice a year. But please make sure if you haven't got your tickets, you get them. Gates will be closing. If you're in our community, if you're here now, you get 90% off. Anybody you might think enjoys it, tell them to join the community. They just need to go to the website and log in. But there's a sales page, there's a flash sale, there's a 90% off. So please make sure you share it on your socials. Please make sure you put it out there and let people know who we are. Women in Digital Business is here. We're here to stay. We're growing. The visibility is getting bigger and bigger. This summit has had YouTube ads behind it, LinkedIn ads behind it. We've got a few spaces funded. There's some spaces that are being funded by Dell, and we're going to be giving them away. So if you're a coach and consultant on this call right now, and you feel like you've got something to offer, you feel like you can make a difference, make sure you reach out in the chat right now. If you're listening to the recorded version of this, put it into the comments or simply fill out our speaker application form. So we've got some spots funded by Dell. Fill out the speaker application form. That's probably the best way, actually. I can probably hear my team saying, no, don't just send them aimlessly to a channel or the replay. Fill the speaker form out. If you know someone else that would really benefit having a message that will change people's lives, send them the speaker form. We've literally just got a few handful of spaces left. So Dell has kindly offered to fund those spots so we can give them away. Okay. I've seen there, I think there might be some questions in the chat, or are they all links? Oh, also, let me stop sharing. That would be helpful, wouldn't it? Brilliant, 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 brilliant. Right, we come to the end. Many of you have got many things to get on with. It's great to see so many of you here, actually. It's been phenomenal seeing the growth of this Lunch and Learn. So again, spread the word about us. We're here to stay. We're going to be doing some big things. We're on a mission to get 1 million women inside this community, to level up, to have successful businesses where they own it 100%. Okay, so any questions you've got, I've got a couple of minutes for any quick questions. If you haven't, I know it was a lot to take in. Just let us know your feedback if you found this session helpful as we wind up. And it's the end of our Lunch and Learn. I'm still eating my strawberries as well. I'm trying to be healthy. Right, ladies, thank you for all the comments in the chat. Very, very, very much welcomed. Really glad that you enjoyed today. Really glad that we was able to give some value. Really able to gain a much better understanding of the sales funnel, maybe help choose the technology, software, automation that you're using, and maybe give you an idea of just your business modeling and how you're really going to be able to get the clients that you want. And most importantly, a better understanding of the maths. Okay, really understanding, how much impressions do I get, how much click through, how much leads, and what does that equal in sales, and how am I actually going to pull this off and make it happen? Okay, so I bid you a farewell, ladies. Thank you for attending. I will see some of you at the summit. I will see some of you next week. I will see some of you on our mailing list or inside the community. So as always, an absolute pleasure. I bid you a very, very farewell. Take care. Goodbye.